I'm just going to sit here waiting for my salmon to cool off and for this list to populate. I bought some ready cooked salmon again. I'm a big fan of salmon. I'm not a big fan of fish. I'm not a big fan of shellfish because I can't eat shellfish. I'm allergic to them. When it comes to salmon, I can make an exception. Hearing news that one of the guys here on YouTube, he got himself in a bit of trouble. I can't say I feel sorry for him given what happened and his general demeanor, his way about having a conversation. Can't say I feel sorry for him. Good riddance to bad rubbish. That's what I say. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, right? That's funny. Oh, well. Hey, what's going on, Abdul? What's going on Rival? Hey, what's going on, Khalif, Lance, Pete, Troll Network? I don't know who that is. He's just leaving O's. George, Dr. Wu, Counterpunch, what's good? What's good, Kurt? Carlos, what's good? Let me post this link because Mark knows more about this than I do. I don't know nothing about it. I saw what was floating around. I saw what was being posted. It is verified. But can't say I feel sorry for the guy. I actually don't. It couldn't happen to I thought he was a scumbag before all of that. This just proves it. I already thought he was a scumbag. No man who respects himself as a man behaves the way that guy does. I'm going to eat this salmon, and we're going to wait for Mark to click the link. Let's see who that is. Hey, who's this?
Unrivaled.
Oh, hey, what's going on, Mark?
Hello.
So what happened, man? Fill me in.
I don't know, bro. It's all alleged.
It's all alleged?
No, I got hit with like a privacy thing earlier today, so.
Well, yeah, but it's not like we're posting information.
Oh, right. So, So a certain person in YouTube, I'll do this as politically correct and non-possible for anybody to get in trouble. Certain person in YouTube has a case of being a registered sex offender. A few days ago, he was doing a live stream, and there was a minor girl on it, and he referred to her multiple times as a pretty bitch, told her that she should come kick it in America instead of the UK, and that she's obviously down with it. And he continued to tell her father that he doesn't want to talk to him. He wants to talk to the pretty bitch. Get your pretty bitch on here. And he kept calling him a pedophile. And then he continued to look for the young minor to enter onto his stream, to talk to him. So that's the thing.
Oh, well, that's all right. Well, I guess that was enough for someone to have him banned. That's all I can say. That because I don't know. Like people told me that his channel got taken down, but I didn't know what it was about. Troy was good. Kurt was good. Virtuoso was good. How y'all doing?
Good evening.
Good, brother.
Good. Pick up yourself. Now, before I make any comments, I want to make sure that we all on the same page. Clue me in as to who you're speaking of, please.
Well, there was this guy called Best Fight the Best, right? He was on YouTube. And apparently he talked, his name was Best Fight the Best.
Right, that's BF whatever.
Yeah, that guy. So okay. I don't know if you're familiar how he carries with himself on social media. Like I don't know if you've had the pleasure.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of being banned from his yeah.
All right. So apparently he was on talking, to an individual, and the individual's daughter came on. And he said some things that you don't say to a minor. That seems to be the gist of it. He said some things that you don't say to a minor, and as a result of that, his channel has been taken down.
And then and then it later somehow came out that he's a registered sex offender.
That doesn't surprise me, dog. That kind of, like I said, and I was saying it. There was some comedic value to it, but there was truth to it too. That look, no man who respects himself as a man behaves himself that way via social media. I like it won't happen, dog. The only reason that a dude acts like that via social media is because something's already wrong with him.
Yeah,
That's right.
I mean, like, I don't like. Look, man. Like I'm not for the peeing contest or the macho man or the whatever. You just not going to talk. If you really like that, you're not going to talk like that. Like you're just not, bro. So I mean, I already figured that guy's something wrong with that guy. But other than that, I ain't worried about it. Good riddance to bad rubbish.
I say the same. I say the same thing. I was on one of his. I called into one of his compatriot show yesterday and tried to get him to speak on it. He told me, I don't know if you're talking about it, and hung up on the phone. That tells me exactly the character of those people over there, which I've never. I just really want every single one of them off because they're very dangerous in the sense that they influence too many people.
I agree. I mean, but at the same time, that's a reflection. I feel like that's a reflection of where we are as a society. That rather than doing the legwork ourselves and doing the research ourselves as a society, not me and you or me and the people on this panel, but just in general, the fact that so many people could turn to these individuals for information that they could get themselves from verifiable sources is disturbing because that shows that a lot of people rather be lied to.
Well, to be honest with you, most people are sheep, man. They're weak and they're afraid to stand alone. There's much more courage when you can stand with 10 people and stand by yourself, and you have to deal with 10 people.
I hear that.
At least that's how they feel. Me personally, I'd rather stand alone. If I'm wrong, then guess what? I'll be wrong. If I'm right, then I'm gonna stand right, and whatever happens on that right, then I'll have to deal with it, right?
I mean, I dig it because y'all may not know this, but I'm a Capricorn, and I actually prefer to be alone. I prefer to be alone. People complicate things. I've always thought that, even since I was a child. I'm like, people complicate things, man. You do your thing on your own, you got a likely chance of succeeding. You get other people involved, that's just more people that's going to tell on you. More people that's going to mess it up for everybody. You doing your thing on your own, ain't nobody going to mess it up for you, man. You know what I mean?
That's true. Now, see, I feel like you lied to me, bro.
What you talking about?
Last time I was on here, you told me you was from the DR, but now you're a Capricorn?
I'm a Capricorn too, man. I'm a Capricorn too, man. I'm all kinds of cool stuff.
I'm playing with you, man. I'm playing with you. I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little bit.
No, I did not. I mean, to me, as far as I'm concerned, the mood is light because somebody who deserved to get that got what they deserved. That this dude's mouth finally got him in trouble to the point to where ain't nobody gonna have to listen to you no more. And that's all we ever wanted. You know what I mean? Like that's
right.
That's all I ever like. I don't feel that a person like that should even have a platform to speak because look at how you behave yourself. And you older than me. Like I looked at the thing. The dude is 40-something years old. I'm like, yo, what's good with this dude? Like you acting like a little 15-year-old or something.
Really?
The little guy, right?
Is
it a little guy?
I mean, look, as far as I know, I looked at him and I'm like, yo, this is a little dude because ain't no like I just can't see somebody that got some size to him acting like that. But I looked at what Mark posted.
And what? I didn't post nothing, bro.
Yeah, I'm talking about like what am I talking about? What am I talking about? Mark didn't post nothing. All right. I saw something that an individual from Ireland named not Mark, Mork. His name was Mork.
Plausible deniability. Love it.
Yeah, his name was Mork. It's with an O. It's with an O. Just so we clear. It's with an O. And he posted that the dude is listed in the database. He's actually in the database. So it's like, wow, bruh. And his height, his recorded height was 6'2". But I'll tell you what,
hold on, which he has claimed many times.
And look, I don't know. If this is a 6'2" man with a very high pitched voice, I guess that's what it is, because the dude sound like he was inhaling helium before he go live. You know what I mean? I don't know what his deal is. In any event, a man of 44 or however old he is, 43, whatever he was, you just don't behave like that, bro. That's all I'm saying. So a guy that acts like that, who's that age, something got to be wrong with you. So it has to be, because I just can't see. I can't understand that. I can't wrap my mind around it.
Any man that says like bitch ass.
Go ahead,
let me let Virtuoso go, because Virtuoso ain't get a chance to say much. Virtuoso, what you think, man?
I think that anyone that says bitch ass niggas repeatedly behind the safety of their house, you know, has real insecurities. And I was hoping that you was gonna like follow through, on his demand to fuck him up. You know, he's 3 inches taller than me. I don't give a fuck. I'll break his jaw if I had a daughter.
As far as height in a fight, that shit don't mean nothing. As far as, I'm not worried about a tall person in a fight. I'm worried about fat people are hard to fight. They are extremely hard to fucking fight. Tall people, get their ass off balance.
Somebody has a lot of background noise. Somebody has a lot of background.
Yeah, somebody in the middle of a tornado or something.
Or on the beach.
But yeah, man, it's like, you know what I mean? Like the dude, I don't know. Beats, what you think about it, man? You ain't say much. What you think about the situation, Beats?
I just think it's unfortunate, man. I ain't really got much in common with them guys, but I'll just advise anyone with a boxing channel, or if you're in a circle or whatever, just try and be. I know it sounds corny and cheesy, but try and be positive, man. It's all right having a laugh, use a bit of profanity, but try and be positive. Don't let the sex talk and the street talk go that far, man. Or eventually it's just gonna end up in the gutter. That's all I can really say, man.
Well, look, this is what I'm gonna say, right? As far as people that do like street talk and sex talk and just general unsavory individuals like myself, because I'm an unsavory individual, it's a quote. I'm an unsavory individual. I'm not gonna say a lot, but all I'm gonna say is, when you an unsavory individual like me, you don't behave like that. That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
You don't behave like that. You ain't got no reason to be. I can't, like, I'm not comfortable, right? I would rather have a meeting of the minds and debate that, because this is the adequate way to discuss things on the internet. That's all it's good for. All we can do is hear each other's ideas and discuss. So ain't gonna be no old bitch ass. Like, come on, dog. Like, come on, bro. Like, really? Like, I can't do it, bro. Like, I can't do it. You know what I mean? But I could eat this salmon though. I could do that.
Yeah, I was gonna follow up on what the brother said about being positive. There's absolutely nothing corny about being positive. It takes more strength to find peace than it does take to find anger. You know, I mean, I got a friend who does martial arts, and he always told me that I find my greatest strength is that I can walk away from a problem. I don't have to handle it. Yeah, I don't have to handle it right there. I could just walk away because I know what I could do. Right.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always believed this. You're more dangerous when you're happy. You're more dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you're at peace. I mean, peace doesn't make you soft. Like, you know, I'm gonna make my point. I mean, like me right now, I'll be 49 in August. So basically, you know, the good Lord just has me doing things that make me feel peaceful, man. I really just find joy in helping others, right? But at the same time, you could always judge a person by their actions, because I could say 1,000 things to you, but then when you meet me face to face, you could you could read my body language, you could watch me, and you could say, okay, well, he's an imposter, right? Or you know, he's a snake, or he's everything he said he is, because it doesn't take that. I mean, you know, you could say whatever you want, but your actions will always tell the truth of who you are.
That's true. You know, I wrote a book a couple of years ago, right? It's called The Art of War. You know, I used to go by a different name. My name was Lao Tzu. And when I was talking about Lao Tzu, you know, I'd rather be the wolf in sheep's clothing than the sheep in wolf's clothing, because at some point, you know, it's just going to come out in my book.
Yeah, I believe I read that book. I thought it was Lao Tzu.
Well, it is, but you know,
in all honesty, you're both wrong. It's Sun Tzu.
Let me just say this, yeah. Something stuck with me about American street culture, because I'm heavily into hip hop. one of the Wu-Tang members, and he wasn't officially in the lineup. He said he knows dudes, and we're talking about Stapleton Projects or Shaolin in serious areas. He knows dudes who were so grimy and so deep into the game, like horribly. But when they started rapping, they just rapped all positivity because they had to kind of cleanse themselves. So they weren't coming in there talking about the stuff they did on the street. They would, they talk about it, but they talk about the downside. So, and they were bringing a lot of 5% messages, alarm, and this, that, and because they just couldn't bring all that dirt. They said because they were so entrenched in the dirt that they had to bring something positive out on the mic, and that always stuck with me.
Generally speaking, right? Unsavory individuals like myself have no reason to air out our own dirty laundry because we're unsavory individuals. So when I see an individual talking to other grown men the way that he did, I'm like, man, dog, like, you're not that guy, man. I don't know what you are, but you're not that guy. And that's all right, man. It's the internet, man. It's all entertainment. I figured that there's some kind of frustration in his life because that's what it seemed like to me, to take to the internet every single day, to talk to people like that. You understand? To talk to people like that, to curse and shout and do that stuff to people. It's not conducive with a healthy mind and a healthy spirit. It's just not. We're going to get Jefferson in here.
I don't want to bail him out, right? I'm not bailing him out. But you've got to look into other factors, yeah? It's like he's got a whole group there, yeah? And they're all egging him on. And there's times, yeah, you get caught in the moment and you just can't stop yourself. You might even think to yourself, I ain't going to go on the stream and do all that. You go on the stream and all of a sudden you're barking at people, you're talking all types of crap, and then it's going into these gray areas of, sexual behavior we can't really condone. And that, like, people get caught up. And he's probably having a very I'm not saying I don't think he'll ever change, but he's probably having a moment of reflection, at least now. I think,
before I pass it to D, I want to say that his behavior is indicative of a man-child, because I'm saying if you was young, like you do wild stuff when you're young. Like, I know I did wild stuff when I was young, so I have no desire to do anything of the sort now that I'm older. All those oats are sold and all of that is settled. So the idea of me even raising my voice to anyone other than my children when they misbehave is ridiculous. Like, nah, I'm not trying to be mad. I'm close to 40-something. I'm trying to be happy every day, not the opposite. So imagine me coming on here every day to go live and shout expletives and all this. Like, I can't do it. So what that tells me is that you probably got beat up a lot when you was a child, if that's the kind of stuff that you doing when you're 40-something years old. Because I'm like, bro, like what the hell? Like, nah, not me, dog. I can't do it. Shout out to Wex for DJ. Appreciate that.
And just judging by his face, you could tell that he holds a lot of resentment.
Yeah, his face looks like you bit the wrong side of a pomegranate. You ever bit the wrong side of a pomegranate? You ever bit instead of the seeds? That's what his face looks like.
Yeah.
What you think about it, man?
Hey, man, we talk about this BFTB clown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting. Yeah. I think all of us would probably had a live or a video or something on this craziness. But it's like I said yesterday on my shit, bro. At the point, like, this is something that BFTB has done consistently to people. Now, I'll clear this up what I'm saying. Like, it'll be all the guys on there and their girl will be there and he'll start making references about their girl, disrespecting the guy. Okay, cool. So this is what he does, right? But at the point when that dude told him, whoa, this is my daughter, calling him a pedophile, you stop. You don't talk to that child anymore. And in my opinion, you just keep the conversation with the dad. But this idiot went further with it. He's continued to call her a pretty little bitch, and then he invited her to come see him in the United States. I'm like, bro, are you insane?
See, but D, you see what you're saying there, D? This is when people get caught up in the moment, and they forget. They think, oh, I'm on the internet. This ain't the real world. No, it's the real world. This is the real world. There's real people listening. And the reason I don't really want to use it as a point scoring thing is I know young girls who have been through this. Like, I've dated women and their daughters have been hurt badly. I've seen them withdraw, and it's quite disturbing. It's quite a disturbing thing. So I don't want to use it as a point scoring thing. I want to use it as something like, just try and clean it up, man. If you're doing YouTube, whether you're in the LDBC, Wilder fan, or YTBC or whatever, try and clean it up. Like my hangouts, they get into adult topics, but I never allow it to go too far. You can't be talking explicit things that you did with women and stuff. You can glaze over it slightly because we do that all the time. Me, you, Julius, D, we do it, but it never gets that graphic.
You see, the thing is I equate it to, because I am an unsavory individual, I equate it to Jada Kiss, and no, matter of fact, not Jada. I'm equated to Styles P and Jay-Z. Styles P was talented. He had verses for days, but the man can't write a song without killing somebody. And that's the difference between success and failure in the music industry. That, look, you can't talk like that. Like, they're not going to play this at the mall while it's soccer moms buying shirts. You got to clean it up. You can be that guy, but you can be that guy away from the prying eyes of the public. If you're like that all the time, you're not going to get far. You're just not going to get far.
Well, there's a few people from that area. You got Styles P. Beanie Siegel was another example. He had a great chance. He's probably doing okay for himself now, but he had such a great chance of building his own dynasty because he was extremely talented, but he couldn't separate the street from the industry.
That's what it was. That's what it was. You can't write a song without killing 10 people. Well, I'll tell you what, they ain't gonna play that at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Some guys are just not meant for commercial around mainstream music. Like Murder Mook was another one. He's killing them in the street. Murder Mook was killing them in the rap out in the street, but he wasn't meant for mainstream music.
Mook was talented. He didn't represent. I mean, Mace came out as Murder Mace, but he realized you can't make money with that name. He changed it just to Mace. You're still Murder Mook in your 30s. You got to switch it up.
Well, that's why that's why I view the behavior as being infantile, because as an adult man, if the difference between making, life-changing money and succeeding is your demeanor, which is under your control, your demeanor and what you react to is entirely up to you, and what you let affect you and what you let anger you, all of that is up to you. You the master of your domain, or you should be. And if you're that age and that's how you behave on a regular basis, bro, you a child, dog. You a child. You a little boy. And in all likelihood, you probably got beat up a lot when you was a kid, and that's why you like that. Because
I want to ask you guys, because you live over it, I want to ask you something. Somebody once told me from that guy's group that, well, Beats, if you don't understand the pimp culture I talk about, you don't understand what it's like to be American. Is there any truth to that? I'm saying there isn't.
No, there isn't. Hold on, somebody at my door. I'm gonna check the door. You guys hold it down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a gross stereotype, right, D, of black people.
It is. It's a ridiculous stereotype. But I say this, Beats, and I'm a little outside of the box when it comes to African Americans, because I say a lot of things that African Americans don't like to hear. I say a lot of things about our community that people just don't want to hear. We don't hold ourselves accountable for enough in this country. And I'm talking about specifically African Americans. We do a lot of bullshit. We tolerate a lot of bullshit. We condone a lot of bullshit that we should not. I'm talking about amongst our own community. You understand what I'm saying? And so some of these things, some of the judgments that people make on them are unfair for sure. I agree with you, but stop putting the fucking image out there.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, right? As an unsavory individual, I can wholeheartedly say, 37 years of life, I've never called a police officer for any reason whatsoever, right? But there's certain things that I'm not of the opinion that because someone is of the culture, they're automatically given a pass. For example, I feel OJ killed that woman. He killed that man. That's how I feel. He killed him in cold blood. That's how I feel. I feel that R. Kelly is, we've known about R for a long time. I feel that, Mike, I love his music. I'm always going to love his music. But there were certain things that he did as an adult man that I don't care what your childhood was. They are still peculiar and they are still inexcusable because I, as a grown ass man, cannot fathom wanting to do the things that you say you wanted to do, and I'm not going to say it because I have every intention of getting money off this video.
All right, Bombada, African Bombada, Julius.
Yeah, I want to jump in here if I could, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I agree with that. I agree with that. There's a lot of things that we do that we shouldn't tolerate, right? But at the same time, every group does that. Everything we do is just highlighted, but every group does that. Every single group has the same issues. But yeah, because of the stereotype of us is more of a bigger, a spotlight on us. I'm not agreeing that we shouldn't deal with it, right? Because I'm a firm believer in, you should clean up your own yard before you try to clean up somebody else's, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but at the same time, we're not special. Every group does that. And then the thing on Michael that I always ask people is show me a 6-year-old or a 9-year-old or 10-year-old that has a driver's license, and what parent would let their child stay over in a grown man's house? Where was the parent?
I agree with now, Troy, we're gonna agree on that they were complicit with whatever inferences could have been made based on that guy's behavior. The parents were complicit because there's no way it happens unless they are complicit. But the fact that the impulses exist and it's overlooked, that there's a lot of things that get overlooked. It's like you got a family member and you love them, but they got a problem. And sometimes people address it, sometimes people don't. That's all it is.
See, the thing with when we're talking about Mike, R. Kelly, or Bill Cosby, right? Because of the injustices that people of color have suffered, we feel that we have to almost protect them. Because, like when you see guys like Harvey Weinstein nearly got off with it. And, we almost feel, with OJ, let's call it innocent. Even though it looked dodgy. But that's the only problem is we get probably a little defensive because we think we've got the worst of it previously in the judicial system and the penal system, etc. See, because what people don't realize, our experiences are not. America is very similar to a lot of other westernized countries. Like over here, we have a special police branch called Trident, and it's specifically for black on black crime, right? And over where you are, they always say black on black crime, but to me, it's crime. If you rob somebody black, white, it should probably all be crime. But how do you? If you do say that, then you'd have to say, well, if a policeman violates a black person, then you can't call it a racial. Racial. You can't call racial discrimination. It's just a bad cop.
I would say that the reason that things are the way they are in America, right? So much effort was spent ostracizing, because I still plan on getting cash for this video. So I'm going to put things a certain way. So much time was spent mistreating and ostracizing a particular group that culture was instilled in people's minds. So people are hyper reactive to it. And at the end of the day, I agree with Beats when he says that crime is crime because everyone commits crimes. Like, look, there's any number of groups that commit crimes against individuals of those same groups, but it gets highlighted when it's X, and it shouldn't be because crime is crime, dog. I can walk into a predominant neighborhood comprised of any number of individuals, right, of a particular group. I guarantee you there's going to be crime there. But they don't have to be of a certain group for there to be crime there because crime is always going to be there. It's always going to be crime.
100%.
Yeah, and to touch on what you guys were saying before, I just kind of feel like when somebody in those communities do a madness, yeah, I kind of feel like it's like that person's the spokesman for the whole community. So that person's done, like, I don't know, maybe a rape or something like that, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, they're all doing that. And I just kind of feel like that's probably only like a few percentage of the actual people that's out there. Like, it's the small minority of people that are actually doing it within the minority.
Well, if you're going to say that, then we'd have to be honest with police and like over here, it's mostly black people getting stopped or violated, taken out in custody. But if we're going to compare that to criminal statistics, it's a rarity, isn't it?
Well, let's put it this way, because we're gonna move on from this. We're gonna get to some boxing. What I'm gonna say is everybody's hands are dirty, and the problem is that everybody's always pointing a finger at someone else. And look, all our hands are dirty, bro. All of us, every single one of us on this planet, every group that is a group, every denomination that is a denomination. Take it down, bro. Take it down. That they might flag it off of that. Take it down, D. They might flag it off of that.
Hey, Ring IQ.
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
I just want to say something before you move on. I got a thought, man, because I'm of the mindset, when things like this happen, when folks like you have a show. I don't know if the brother with the hat on that show. Do you have a show also? Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, good. What I was thinking, wow, what I was thinking, is, just as, let's say if I come to you and I say, okay, well, I know this information and I know that information, and if I could verify it, would you talk about it on your show? Because I think that's a good way of getting information out and just letting people know what's going on and stuff. Because we have all this power, so why not use it for some positive?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it as long as the information is verified and I'm not slandering anybody.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because
all right, well, I'm cool. I'm gonna put myself on mute because there's too much power out here. There's just too much power out here to let stuff like this just go by. I mean, it's good to talk about it, but I believe in being purposeful, man. If you're given life and breath, then you have power to do something. Because see, I have a daughter. She's 31 and she's 6'1", and she ain't never been beat, and nobody ever touched her because I'm still free. So, there's, there's a purpose for everything, right?
I dig it.
Yeah.
So look, I'm gonna bring some boxing here. The people in the chat, they want to talk boxing. Now, I don't know if all of you were here when I was talking about the Ryan Garcia Luke Campbell fight, right? But now that all of us are here, I'm gonna say that I don't know if Ryan wins that fight. I'm not saying he won't. I'm saying I don't know. Reason I don't know is because Luke Campbell is about 5'10". He's a southpaw. He's a gold medalist. He's got a jab. He can box from the outside. He can bang on the inside. And I've never seen Ryan in there with somebody like that. So I'm gonna start with Beats. Beats, what do you think about that fight?
Well, location is going to be, I think, for Ryan more than Luke. Luke traveled already. I think it's the maturity. I don't like the word man strength, but I think Luke is used to them hard fights, like being pushed to the limit, but he hasn't always got the W when necessary. Now, he avenged the Mendy loss, and he done well against Lomachenko. Depends how much that fight got.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Beats. You got to talk into the mic a little more. You're going in and out.
Oh, sorry. Because he's had a few wars, Luke, yeah?
Yeah.
He's had a few wars. So it depends what's left in the tank, how much ambition is left. Location is important.
Yeah.
Ryan is fresh. Hits hard. It's a good fight, man. It's a good fight. I like Ryan against Luke more than I do against Linares.
I would say the opposite. I feel he has a better chance of winning a Linares fight on cuts because we know Linares got the scar tissue. I would say, and I'll go as far as saying, I think he would knock out Linares before he would knock out Luke Campbell.
Interesting.
Luke's a big kid, man. He's 30-something years. Like, he's what, 30? He's a big kid for lightweight. He's about 5'10". He's solid. I can see because of where Linares is right now. It's not that Linares isn't a good fighter. I do think he's a good fighter. I thought he was a good fighter before everybody even found out who he was. He's a good fighter. But durability, that if you get through with a hard shot, I could see Luke weathering a shot better than Linares at this stage.
I think Linares' resistance is okay. He just had no business moving up to 140. You know, he had no business, and he just wasn't prepared for that. He got caught cold as well. But it's interesting. I like Linares against Luke. I like Ryan perhaps against Campbell. I'll be rooting for Luke though. All
right, now I'm gonna take it through Virtuoso. Virtuoso, I don't know if you were here when we had that conversation, but what do you think about Garcia versus Campbell?
This is a huge step of fight for Ryan Garcia. I mean, you're right. He hasn't faced anyone like Luke Campbell. I mean, up to this point, he's kind of fought down to his competition to kind of ease the gas pedal on his career. I felt he had a much better shot at beating Linares, because he's just chin happy and he cuts easily. But when I don't know if Ryan has ever fought a southpaw, I'm not so sure about that. But yeah, location matters too, because like if I don't know if he doesn't hold the title, right? Luke Campbell, right?
He doesn't hold the title. He doesn't hold the title.
He doesn't hold the title, but like, yeah, he's just like he's still in his prime.
Yeah,
and he has way more. He has experience, so he knows the trick of the trade. So it's gonna be he's gonna have to prove his worth, on this stage.
If Luke is inspired, and I think he would be. I don't think that Luke is in that place where you just showing up for a check. I don't think he's there. He's got 2 losses, but he avenged one of them. He avenged 3 losses. He avenged the Mendy loss. He never got to get back with Linares. Obviously, he never got to get back with Lomachenko. That was his last fight. But I still don't see Luke as journeyman status or professional sparring partner. Like
he looked really good against Mendy as well in the rematch.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Ryan and I'm like, you haven't really gotten a lot of rounds in, all things considered. Like, you haven't. You didn't get a lot of rounds in with Duno, and you didn't get a lot of rounds in with the last guy, Fonseca. So you're going in there and you're getting first round knockouts, which is nice, but it comes at the cost of experience because you're not getting the rounds in. I don't think you're going to put away Luke Campbell in the first round. I don't think that. All right, I'm going to take it to Troy. Troy, you familiar with Luke Campbell, right?
You gotta give me some more context. I've probably seen him fight, but give me some more context on the brother, please.
He was the tall kid that Lomachenko fought in his last fight. I think that was last year, September. I'm gonna say. He
got dropped.
Yeah, he got dropped. He's a southpaw. The kid's about 5'9", 5'10" in the lightweight division. That's 135. So he's huge for a lightweight. He's huge for a lightweight. He's a southpaw. He has a jab, but he also knows how to fight in the pocket. He could go to the body. He's real good at going to the body. And Ryan, if you've been keeping up with him, it's not I'm not criticizing Ryan. You understand? I'm saying that you haven't showed me, and I haven't seen that you can deal with somebody like this. So I literally don't know what's going to happen.
Well, Ryan is talented, but I think the one thing I noticed about him is he's kind of flat-footed sometimes.
Yeah, he is.
So I think right there is where Campbell could do some damage if he wants to stop and trade with him, right? Because in New Southpaw you can catch people with a blind punch because everything's come from the opposite side, right? So I think that'll be his greatest worry is being caught with a blind punch, and basically you don't want to be too aggressive with a southpaw that has that much reach. Because he could catch you coming in. He could catch you coming in, and you really don't want to lay on the ropes with him because then you give him, the clear eyes to see you. He can see every movement, right? So it's kind of basically you have to keep a certain distance, and you have to keep busy enough where he can't use his reach. and blow his body up, because something tells me he's not that big around, the ribs and all that, right? It's pretty much. So, and honestly, if it comes down to it, beat on his damn hip, beat on his arms, just beat something to make him slow down so you catch him as the fight goes on. Georgie Benton, the great trainer, used to tell Holyfield, punch him in the arms, constantly beat his arms up.
Yeah, that's what Marciano used to do to guys too. He used to punch him in the arms on purpose.
Charlie Goldman used to tell Rocky, punch them in the forearms, break the blood vessels in the arms until they wear down. They can't hold their arms up, and then you can get at them. Yeah. Break the blood vessels in the forearm.
But see that's even that strategy, right? Like that strategy. What I'm saying is Ryan is still a greenhorn. Like we have not really seen. I haven't seen it. Like I'm saying, he's a good fighter and he's at where he's supposed to be. He's winning the kind of fights that he's supposed to win. But this going to be a boxing match. This ain't going to be no first round KO. This going to be a boxing match. And Ryan, with all due respect, I haven't seen him get into a boxing match. I seen you score first round knockouts. That's what I really be seeing you doing. I'm gonna give it to D. D, what you think about that fight?
I already said that I picked Luke to win that fight on points. Because I'm just not convinced of Ryan. And my thing was the confidence, the level of confidence of Reynoso. So I could use my eyes, and I do pretty well. But just like you were saying, I haven't seen enough of the kid. I haven't seen enough to use my eyes. Reynoso's working with him, right? And so I always tell people this. I give Luke Campbell the credit as being on the level or superior to a Devin Haney, on the level or superior to a Tank Davis, in my opinion. And then Reynoso said that he felt Ryan Garcia needed 2 or 3 fights before climbing in the ring with those two guys. And that's Haney and Tank. If he feels that way, then I don't think Ryan's ready for Luke either. But because Ryan's running his goddamn mouth, they're going to teach him a lesson. I really feel like that's how it is. We don't think you're ready, but because you want to run your mouth, threaten to leave us because we don't have faith in you, then we're going to put your little ass in the ring, and you better win.
Exactly.
We shall find out.
Exactly. Before I pass it to Box Watch, that's what we was talking about in the last live, that it just so happens that right now you have beef with your promoter. And your promoter's looking at you like, yo, you know what? You think you know every goddamn thing. You think you know it all. So go ahead, go fight Luke. We wasn't going to let you have a fight like that, really. But since you know so goddamn much and we got to pay you through the nose, go ahead, go get your money. Go get your money. And that creates a situation. Box Watch, what do you think about that?
Real quick before you go, Oscar and Reynoso wanted to line him up the WBO route. It would have been an easier fight. You understand? But Ryan started running his mouth. So he could have went the WBO route, but he asked for this. And
it's been going on. This been since the Duno fight. Since the Duno fight, he's been complaining about his purses. And I said it in the last live when we were talking about him. That I never seen a prospect complain about his money so goddamn much. Like, bro, you're not a champion. You don't got a belt. You acting like you got a belt and you got a signature win. Who's your signature win? Duno and Fonseca? That's it?
Ridiculous, really.
Yeah.
How close are we to getting that fight?
I mean, that's supposed to be the next one because the order came down. That's for all accounts. That's supposed to be the next one.
That sounds like a September fight.
Yeah, could be a September fight. Maybe they put him on the undercard for Canelo's fight.
Yeah, makes sense. Get some more exposure.
You know what? It's a Golden Boy card though, so Luke gonna start off that fight down on the cards. Before the bell ring, Luke is down on points. If it was in the UK, I think the guys in the UK would give Ryan a fair shake. But this is a Golden Boy card, bro. Luke gonna start off with a points deficit. It's gonna be.
I don't know about him getting a fair shake over here. I don't know about that.
I think he will. I'm saying, all right. What's likelier than not? Is Golden Boy likely to give somebody a fair shake? Not really. But comparatively, I'm not saying they squeaky clean over there in the UK. I'm just saying, look at Hooker. Look at Hooker versus Flanagan. Hooker versus Flanagan was a real close fight, but they gave it to Hooker. And
It
I was
wasn't that close. It wasn't that close. Hooker clearly won the fight.
no beats. We gonna have to disagree on that, man.
He did. Hooker won the fight. Flanagan garbage, man. Come on, man.
No, you just saying that because you don't like Terry Turbo. That's what that is.
Hooker won that fight, man. Hooker won that fight. Hooker won that fight.
All I'm look. All I'm saying is it was close enough that if they wanted to nudge the decision in Terry's direction, it wouldn't have surprised me. I wouldn't have called it a robbery.
I'd say it's close to a robbery. I think Hooker deserves to be right.
Now you just don't like Terry, though. I can tell you just don't like Terry, and that's all right. And that's all right.
Hooker was a long comfortable day in that fight, man.
All right, we're gonna get box watch. Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell.
Yo.
What do you think about that fight? All right, box watch fell asleep.
I feel like Ryan's gonna show you that signature win now, man.
Okay, I'll take that.
Ryan is gonna show that signature win. He's gonna get that signature win on Luke Campbell. I just think so. I don't know what it is. I just think
No, and that's okay.
Yes, he hasn't shown his. Yes, he hasn't shown his pedigree. Yes, he hasn't been in any deep waters per se and all sorts. Yes, he's a bit flat-footed. I just feel like he likes to generate a lot of power. That's why he's more flat-footed than not. He was a decent amateur. I just think that Luke. It all depends, because if he is of that upper echelon that he so thinks that he is, I'm talking about Ryan here. If he is of that upper echelon, then he goes and beats Luke.
Yep.
Because as we know, every time Luke's stepped up, he's lost. Not saying that Ryan is on the levels of a Lomachenko or a Linares. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if he is of the upper echelon that he feels he is, and he's gone and seen that Luke's lost to Loma, he's lost to Linares. I probably beat those two guys, so I should beat Luke Campbell. So therefore, he will have the bit between his teeth, and if them guys are always also putting him in there to teach him a lesson because he's out mouthing off. Now it's his time to show them guys, yes, I am the money man. You're supposed to be paying me, and this is why. And then he goes in there and he does a job. He does a job.
You know what I like
and to be fair, yes, he has. I don't know if he's fought a southpaw as a professional.
You know why I like Box Watch's perspective? Because it reminds me of Floyd Mayweather in a sense that before he fought Gennaro, he never fought nobody like Gennaro. But when they put him in there with Gennaro, he beat him, and he beat him decisively. Even though it wasn't nothing on his resume that told you that, yeah, he could take that guy. So maybe that'll happen for Ryan. That's why I don't dismiss it. I'm just saying I haven't.
The one thing I will say about this whole... Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the one thing I will say about this fight is I liken it to what happened when Anthony Yarde went and faced Kovalev. He hadn't fought anyone of that caliber before he went and fought him, and he had more. No, he didn't have more than fight. No, he had less fights than Ryan. The fact is, he was not a seasoned amateur. He had a short amateur career, so he was still learning on the job. I think Ryan teaming up with the Reynoso, that helps him. I think Luke teaming up with Shane, that helps him a lot. But I just think that Ryan has got the beating of him right now. Maybe it's a step too far for him right now, but I just don't think so. I see him winning this fight.
All right, I'm going to pass it to Kurt. Let me pass it to Kurt. All right, you heard what everybody had to say, Kurt. What do you think about that fight?
Well, I think that Ryan, he's making those demands as, wanting to be good and being disrespected by his promotional company for a reason. And I think the reason is his followers. He has too many followers for what he's done. It doesn't match what he's actually done. And I think he feels like, hey, I'm the shit. Look at my followers. Respect me. And this is what it'll be. Well, this fight, I think, if it happens, because it might not happen if he keeps mouthing off, Oscar might just fucking pull the plug. He might just say, you know what, I'm done. But if it happens, this is the perfect time for, I wouldn't even say an upset, but it's a perfect time for disaster for Ryan Garcia because this guy ain't 33 or 34 or 35. He's 32. He's in his prime, and if he goes in there, if he fights this guy Luke Campbell, I've seen Luke Campbell give Lomachenko problems.
Yes.
Problems.
Yeah.
He gives this motherfucker problem, man. And what Ryan gonna do? I've seen him. What's that guy? Fernando Vargas Parra, right? I seen that fight, and I seen the inexperience of Ryan Garcia in that fight. I don't know what he learned in a couple years. Maybe he's learned more with the Reynosos or whatever, but I just think it's a perfect recipe time-wise for disaster.
It can happen. Remember, Xander, the kid, who's the double Olympic gold medalist that lost his first fucking fight? Was it Xander Zayas? Xander, he got a fucked up name, man. It's a lot of Z's in it. Whatever he is, this a guy.
The Puerto Rican guy.
Puerto Rican guy. The guy that he got 2 gold medals, but he lost his first fight. Lost his first pro fight.
He won the other day. I think he beat the guy who beat him.
Yeah, he did. They gave him he managed to get the rematch and he beat the guy. But that's an example that, like, look, dog. More guys with better amateur pedigrees than you have lost fights. Mikhail Aloyan, this guy got a good amateur background. He thought he was ready for Zolani Tete. No, you weren't. No, you were not. So it can happen to Ryan. It seems unthinkable because of how much he's talked about. But that's just talk, bro. That ain't boxing. That's just talk. You were
like the brother would just come in, Kirk. He was saying that he's in his prime. I don't know if he is in his prime, and I don't know if Luke has got the gears. Like the Lomachenko was there for the taking. He couldn't get there. He done well in the second half against Linares, but he didn't have that gear to turn it into a winning performance. And gears are critical at world championship level. It's what separates the champions from the contenders from the also-rans and the all-time greats is the gear. You know when that fight is tough and that guy just accelerates all of a sudden, and then there's a gap in class between them. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, right? You know who impressed me, right? It's Errol Spence against Porter because he was struggling, but he pulled that knockdown out. And as much as I talk shit about Spence, that was a special moment in his career right there when he pulled out that knockdown when Porter was in danger of running away with it. And I don't think Luke has that gear, that special spark that separates him from a championship fighter. That's what I'm not sure about.
I'll concede to that. I will concede to that. I don't think that Luke has that other gear to hit late into a fight. I don't think he does. I'm going to say ultimately, I think that Golden Boy is going to let him have the fight because it's like, yo, look, it's sink or swim, bro. You always complaining about your purses. It's always a goddamn problem. We're sick of hearing it. So you're going to have to go out there this time. We was going to put you in there with Joe Blow. Since you want to keep talking this money shit, all right, go get your money. Eddie going to pay you. Because we was going to put you in there with Joe Tomato Can. You know what I mean? You're going to have to earn your money this time. So go ahead, go get it. The next subject I want to talk about is the Keith Thurman shit. Keith Thurman bringing up that old Floyd Mayweather shit, and this irritates the hell out of me because the whole world should be chastising Keith Thurman right now off of this shit. Everybody conveniently forgot. Keith Thurman wasn't as mandatory for a long time, if at all. Floyd won the belt by fighting Maidana, and we all remember that was a close fight. It was real close. Some people thought Maidana did enough to win the fight. So what Floyd do? He give Maidana a rematch. Now, what I'm going to say is, imagine if he didn't give Maidana the rematch. Imagine if he would have fought Keith Thurman. Who the hell was Keith Thurman in 2014? He'd have fought him. They'd have said, oh, he fought some unproven welterweight. So go ahead, D.
And Floyd would have beat him. Like
And he would have beat him.
Floyd would have beat him. And see, here's the thing. I just went off on Keith Thurman today. This dude, Keith Thurman, you idiot. Shut up, bro. Like, I don't even want to hear Keith Thurman right now because this is the guy who was really if you think about, okay, it almost seems like he and Errol Spence damn near mirrored each other. You understand? Like when they came to the division, all the guys they wanted to fight, they couldn't necessarily get the fights they wanted to fight. Then Keith Thurman gets here, and he does the same thing he complains about. Now you lose everything. Keith Thurman is destitute and desperate right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's where all of this mouth is coming from. He's destitute and he's desperate. Keith Thurman, shut up. Go fight you guys. Go fight. I think Virgil Ortiz called him. I don't care who he fight. Go fight somebody and zip it.
You know what I pay to see? Keith Thurman, Blair Cobb's mirror match. One is Keith Thurman and one is the store brand Keith Thurman. But I just feel the need to clarify this because boxing is a sport of short memories, and everybody forgot that. Okay, Floyd Mayweather fought Marcos Maidana. It was a close fight, so he gave him a rematch. Understandable, because if he hadn't given him a rematch, they would have said he was ducking the rematch. He gives him the rematch. Who does he fight right after that? Who does he fight right after? And that was a unification fight with Marcos, bear in mind. He unified the WBC and the WBA titles. Right after the Maidana fight, who does he fight? Fights Manny Pacquiao. You telling me he should have put Pacquiao on hold to fight Keith Thurman?
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? That's the whole point. Keith Thurman, yeah. Keith is going through this lockdown now. Probably training. Nothing's happening. Phone ain't ringing. And he's realized he was too loved up. Plus he's been injury prone. And now he wants to. Now his problem is he's the boy who cried wolf. Cried wolf for so long. He had the opportunity to fight Errol Spence on the Mayweather show. Floyd was going to throw in a belt. He turned that down. He told Spence to get a belt. Spence got a belt. And he still didn't want to do the business. Messed around with Crawford. And now he's waiting for the lockdown to start calling people out, telling Kell Brook to send a contract.
Yeah.
Everyone knows boxing slowed up now, you know?
Well, you know what kills me, Beats? That you telling Kell to send you a contract. Well, you PBC fighter. You are Captain A-side. You the A-side to everybody. You should be sending Brook a contract.
Exactly.
You know what, yeah? Keith Thurman right now, I think he's looking like food. And if Floyd Mayweather was to ever come back, he should use Keith Thurman as a tune-up fight before he fights Pacquiao. Because I just think Keith Thurman is proper food right now. He's proper garbage.
I mean, man,
that's embarrassing if Floyd came back and beat him. That means you got beat up by two guys over 40. You just better go to the island and chill with that pretty wife of yours if that happens.
But that's what irritates me about look, let me tell you something about to let Tony in here. That's what irritates me about Keith Thurman and the whole PBC island thing. That y'all always acting like y'all the A side to everybody. Y'all the A side to everybody, right? But why y'all the ones always asking somebody to send you a goddamn contract? Ain't you the one that was just on pay-per-view? You should be the one sending the contract. Nah, you gonna sit on your hands on the wallflower because you don't want to get on the dance floor. You don't want to get on the dance floor.
Man, I gotta say this, man. Keith is just going through the motions, man. I mean, you lose your belt, you know, to I don't know, through injuries, and then you get to fight Manny Pacquiao. Granted, you know, there's no shame in losing, you know, to Manny Pacquiao. He's a legend, but you kind of like don't show up for like half a fight, and you get knocked down, and then you take up an opportunity, right, to jump on Errol Spence after he had a car crash, right, and then you calling out Crawford all of a sudden. Like I don't know what's with you, man. I started calling him, you know, Keith full-time flute player Thurman, you know.
Yeah,
that's what he should do. You know, go back to play your flute, man. Nobody want to hear from you.
He need to get up with Enya, did the music for Lord of the Rings. They need to get together and collaborate.
Yanni, you remember Yanni?
Yeah, Yanni. He need to get with Yanni. Get up with Yanni. Get up with Kenny G. All of them. Make a band. The Ponytail Band.
I call him Keith Once Upon a Time Thurman.
Oh yeah,
that's what he is. That's what
I used to call him that too.
And for the longest time, he was used as a crutch to try to belittle Floyd Mayweather. That's really what irritates me about it. That you guys would take this guy who at that time had proven absolutely nothing, right? and try to accuse Floyd of ducking him. But if Floyd wouldn't have fought Marcos for the second time, y'all would have accused Floyd of ducking him. So it's like the dude can't win. Like he can't win with y'all, man. He had a close fight with Marcos. He gives Marcos the rematch. You're not happy. You wanted him to fight Thurman. If he'd have fought Thurman, you would have been mad that he didn't give Marcos the rematch. If he would have delayed the Pacquiao fight, y'all would have been mad off of that. The dude can't win. He can't win.
Jay, it's the price of being the best, fam. Canelo faced the same problem right now. AJ faced the same problem right now. It doesn't matter. When you get to that status where you're the man, you can't please everybody, and they're going to shit on you no matter what you do.
All right, now I'm going to give it to Tony. Tony ain't get a chance to touch on this. All right, Tony, Keith Thurman, a lot of stuff to say, not a lot of stuff to do. What do you think about it?
Well, to touch on your point that you was just talking about, way back when you had to make Donna 1 and 2 and all that, I would argue that at that time, Kell Brook was more relevant in welterweight than Keith Thurman was, in my opinion.
That's true.
Then you got to look at what did Keith Thurman do? In my opinion, he ran from Earl Spence the whole time he was a fucking champion. Now he's over here crying about wanting to face another champion. But I look at it like this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Keith Thurman is one loss away from being irrelevant. He will be a journeyman for the rest of his career. He's like 32 years old. If he loses, no, I'm just saying, if he loses to a Bud Crawford or Earl Spence, where the fuck does he go from there? His career is over.
Now look, I'm gonna tell you something, Tony, and I don't know if you're gonna like it, but I'm gonna say it. And I'm being honest. I'm not even bullshitting. I don't think Keith Thurman could beat Mean Machine. I don't. I'm not joking, bro. I don't think he can beat him. I don't think he can beat him.
Julius.
No, I'm just tripping, Jay, because I told somebody this the other day, bro. I'm not convinced of the dude no more. He's keeping time Thurman. It's not the dude no more.
I agree. I don't know where he is. He does not look the fucking same. He got in twice, back to back, without for almost years. He's not the same fighter. He's just not the same guy.
You know where he is now, yeah? He's at that stage now where, you know when Tyson was just coming in the ring and getting beat up just for the money and his heart weren't in it no more? That is exactly where Keith Thurman is.
That is where that's what, look, if you want to know where I think he is, and I'm being honest, I'm not saying it, I'm not even playing around. I think Virgil Ortiz stands a good chance of beating him because Keith ain't hungry and Virgil is, and that's a deciding factor. It's going to come down to who really want to be here and who wants it more. Keith Thurman really don't want to be there. That's what it is. Like, he don't want to be there, bro. Forget Crawford. He's not going to fight Crawford. But he looked like somebody going to sneak up on him, somebody he think he supposed to be able to beat, and they going to get him. Really, if we're being honest, you should have been able to beat Manny. It's no, I don't want to hear that Manny's a legend. Look, bro, Manny is 41 years old, right? Jeff Horn was roughing him up, bro. And it's not because Jeff is so great. It's a combination of things. Jeff had desire, he had hunger, and he had toughness, right? But Manny's also old enough that a guy like Jeff could get to him. So for you to go in there and get dropped by this Manny Pacquiao 2 years after Jeff did what he did, bro, we see where you at. We know where you at.
Well, Julius, and I'm not doing the thing that you hate. I'm just giving a actual visual representation of the facts. Jeff Horn went in there and was bodying Manny all around the right. Regardless of who thought won, he was still manhandling Manny at times. When Jeff got against Bud, he got manhandled from the beginning to the end of Bud. He didn't even look like, because the whole thing with Jeff Horn was, oh, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you. He looked fucking weak next to Bud.
Yes.
He got handled like nothing. So that tells you where Manny's strength is in his athletic abilities at this point by looking at how he handled Jeff and how Bud handled him when Jeff tried to do that manhandling bullshit. It didn't work out. So
yeah, I agree with you, Tone, in the sense that, look, styles make fights, right? So, and I get that. That's a universal law. But it's true that, like, Jeff got physical with Manny. He got physical with him. Like, he roughed him up, pushing him around, throwing a lot of punches, wrestling in the clinch, all that stuff, physical stuff. He couldn't do none of that with Terrence Brooks. None of that. So it's not because you so strong. It's because Manny is so old. That's what it was. Manny is so old that a Jeff Horn could make you work for it. He could give you a long night. I'm not going to tell you I think Jeff really won the fight. I still think Manny won. But yeah, Manny looked bad. He looked his age. So if he goes in there and he looks young against Keith, that ain't because Manny found a fountain of youth. That's because Keith is shot. He's shot.
But imagine if Ortiz, who you brought up, caught Thurman like Manny did, clean on the chin like that. I don't know if Thurman against Ortiz.
Yeah, but at the same time, yeah, we've got to be a bit careful of writing him off. He's only got one loss. If he's really training hard and dieting properly, I don't think the guys you're saying could beat him, like Mean Machine and who else, Jeff Horn, and I don't see them beating.
Well, I agree with you, Beats, that if his head is in the right place, right? That's if his head is in the right place and he's doing what he needs to do. The thing is, I don't think he's doing those things. I think he's just here for a check. That's all I think he's there for.
And Beats, I'm gonna tell you this too, fam. I feel what you're saying, right? But I still think like Mean Machine would have a chance to beat him because Mean Machine lost to Bud Crawford, but this is Bud Crawford he lost to. He did a pretty damn good job in that fight. I think Bud beats the hell out of Keith too. So just because he lost to Bud Crawford, I think Mean Machine gives Keith some serious work. And I think that young boy Virgil Ortiz gives him some serious work right now too. At least the Keith that I see right now. I think those two guys give him some serious work.
Yeah, look at Keith.
What about Jerron Ennis? I'm sorry to interrupt. But he's also a PBC fighter, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Potentially, but we haven't seen enough from Jerron, bro. Like I see more from Virgil and just haven't seen much from Jerron and his boots.
I'm gonna tell you why I give Virgil good odds, because Virgil is fighting guys. He's fighting good guys for a prospect, because that's what Virgil is. Virgil is a prospect. It's two things really. One, he's stopping guys that they're solid guys, and two, his size. You can't tell on TV, but Virgil is big for welterweight. This dude gonna fill out and go to junior middleweight. That's what's gonna happen, because he's real big for a welterweight. The same with Boots. Boots is big too for welterweight. So if one of those guys land clean on Thurman's rib cage, I don't think Thurman could take it. I don't. Not now.
Well, you soften the body.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, but think about this. When you watch one time Keith Thurman, right, fight, he was very in and out. Like he was very good at getting in the pocket, out the pocket, in, out. How he fought, he was very good. But when you saw him fight, I forget dude's name before Manny. He didn't do that.
Lopez.
Yeah, Lopez. There you go. I forgot his name, drew a blank. But you didn't see him doing that. And when he fought Manny, you saw him fight in the pocket and you saw him trying to skim the outside, but you did not see that in and out style fighter that made him so good. So to me, that looks like your footwork is going, your speed is going, your agility is going. And he just didn't have the same pop against Manny that he used to have. He looks like he's aging extremely fast.
This the other thing I'm gonna say about Keith, and I'm not a revisionist of history, but I'm just being honest. Look at who your two signature wins are, right? Danny Garcia, who never beat nobody good at welterweight. He was good at 140. I'll say that. He had good wins at 140. At 147, he never beat nobody good. That's one of Keith Thurman's biggest wins. And Sean Porter. Sean Porter, solid win, fantastic fight. I enjoyed it from start to finish. But all right, so your claim to fame is beating Sean Porter. That's about it. Because outside of them two guys, who you beat? Soto Caras? Was that it? Was it Soto? I think it was Soto. And who else, bro? Diego Chavez? Like, come on, bro. That's your claim to fame. Danny and Sean.
Lazo was a good win.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go wake up my grandmother and tell her that Keith Thurman beat that guy.
The problem is, like he's always been a bit like not robust. His skin knots up a lot. That's not going to get better as he ages. Despite him saying he's going to pledge himself into keeping in shape and dieting properly, that's not going to get easy as he gets older. But the biggest problem for Keith is all the inactivity and all the the missed opportunities. His skill level is plateaued. He didn't manage to walk Pacquiao in. I thought he was gonna like put on a boxing display and walk Pacquiao into some shots like Marquez did with the left hand, straight left, full counters like Mayweather used range. Didn't see none of it.
Well, I'm gonna say before I pass it to Virtuoso, I actually picked Keith to win that fight because what I thought was gonna happen. I think Manny still has something, right? I think Manny still has power. So what I figured is gonna happen is, Keith's gonna get into an exchange with Manny. He's gonna get hit with something he don't like, and he's gonna realize, damn, Manny hit harder than me. So let me use my legs and box around him. That's what I'm gonna do because he old. He don't got the bounce that he used to. Because remember, in a Matisse fight, Manny wasn't bouncing as much as he did when he was young. A lot of people noticed it that damn, Manny looked kind of flat-footed in this fight. He knocked out Matisse, but Matisse shot anyway. He over the hill. He retired right after that. So I figured, all right, what Keith gonna do to win this fight is box and punch. I know Keith ain't much of a jabber, but he's gonna fight on the go. That's what I figured. And look what happened. When Keith Thurman was backing up, he was trying to get away from Manny. He got caught stepping out. Manny, I think he doubled or tripled up the jab, and he caught him with one and dropped him. Like, bruh, this dude is shot, man. He's shot. He's a shot fighter.
It's not only he's shot, yeah. You know what is it, Julius? I didn't realize he was that limited a boxer. To be honest with you, I was thinking, I was expecting much more. And then when I watched it, I said, why the hell did I pick him to win? I was like, what was I thinking?
Nah.
But I think that's the point, though. Thurman was never that limited. He was never that limited till he came back from. It's like one of them things where, I'm not that old yet, so I don't have it, but I've seen it before. It's like you could see an old mind thinking and it knows what it needs to do, but the body just doesn't react. Like you could see them. You could see it in their eyes knowing what they need to do, but it's not there anymore. That's what's the Thurman is just not there.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna say, hold on. I'm gonna say this, right? I never viewed Keith Thurman, right, the way I look at Terrence Crawford. In the sense that, I know this guy got a lot of gears. I know he's cerebral. He could be a pure boxer. He could be a boxer puncher. He could fight a variety of different ways. I never viewed Keith as that. You see, I always looked at Keith as this is an athletic fighter. That's what he wins fights off of. Athletic fighter. Because he ain't got much of a jab, and he never did. Keith Thurman ain't no jabber.
No. But see what is it, Chris? He can't be where you're saying. He's only 32. He can't be that shot.
You can be shot at 32 if you've been sitting on the couch eating Briar's ice cream, fucking your wife. You could be shot at 32 if that's what you've been doing.
Damn.
My wife and his might have taken a whole lot of energy out of him, B.
But
does look good.
It's not so much the age thing. Like, it's been several boxers, and even Tyson wasn't immune from this. Like, boxers go away from boxing for more than 2 years, and when they come back, they just don't look the same. They might still physically look good. They might still be in their, what you would consider prime, but they leave, they come back. Tyson, it was jail. Thurman's been injured, and they just don't perform the same. I don't know why that is, but it's happened all throughout the history of boxing.
That's true. That's true.
I think sports in general, man. I mean, I can give you examples from football, baseball, fucking MMA. But I agree with you. Like that's sports in general. Sometimes these athletes take layoffs. They come back, it's not themselves.
I think it's psychological though. When it comes, the biggest effect I think that those layoffs have is a psychological effect. Because when you get back in there and you got to get back on that grind, you go back to having training camps and trying to condition yourself to get hit. You start feeling like, man, I don't want to do this shit no more, dog. I just
and
that's exactly what I was trying to say before. I was just trying to say that obviously the way Mike Tyson was coming into the ring, he didn't really want to be there no more. And I just kind of feel like there's a big inactivity problem, I think, on the PBC side of things anyway. And I think that also allows them to balloon up in weight and stuff like that in between fighting once a year. So I just think it's gonna be very hard for him to come back, and I really don't see him beating anyone decent. Maybe someone okay, but not no one top level.
I think Ugas could beat him right now.
Yeah.
Ugas could beat him right now because Ugas. I'm not going to say Ugas is hungry. I'm not going to say that. I just think he's hungrier than Keith. Keith is looking for one last payday. This is the exit strategy, bro. The way he moving like somebody that want to retire. Kell Brook is hungrier than him right now. I swear to God.
Keith would have to get back to some 2014 form to beat you guys.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
You wasn't even on my live this morning. Not today, you wasn't. But bro, I swear, dog, I wish you was. Cause like it's almost I'm listening to a recorder. A lot of the shit you say, I just said on my live today, bro. Like Ugas will give this dude issues.
Yeah.
Ugas will give him issues right now.
He would.
And don't look for Keith because a lot of people didn't see the video, right? Where Keith Thurman said that he has no plans of going to 54. So this is it. This is it. Like, bro, you're gonna be a career welterweight. And your career at welterweight, this is where it's at, bro. You're not winning a belt from Crawford, not that you're trying to. Even in Spence's situation right now, I would still pick Spence to beat him. Even in his situation right now. You done had the pay-per-view fight with Manny and you couldn't beat him. So I mean, that tells the story, bro. It's nothing left for you to do but be a stepping stone for somebody else. Maybe they feed you the boots. You know? Maybe they feed you to that guy to launch his career. Because I don't see what else you got to do. What you gonna do? Fight Broner? Pay-per-view? That's probably the only guy I could give you good odds to beat. And that's only because he don't throw no punches. You ain't gonna knock him out.
That's the thing. Boxing's such a high maintenance sport. Like 6 months of injury can basically change you into a different fighter because you can't work out the same way, or you can't throw certain punches, or you can't move a certain way again. And Keith, when Keith was in his prime, in his youth, he needed to take all the opportunities that were there, whether it's Spence, Crawford, he needed to take them and fight them fights, and he didn't do it.
Well, I must say that I looked at hindsight is 2020, right? And Tone said this, and I'm glad that he did. That like, look, Brook was more of a somebody in those days than a lot of other guys. Brook was, because remember, Brook was a champion for 3 years before he fought Spence. He was a champion for 3 years. He had the IBF. I never saw Keith using all that energy for Brook that he used for Malignaggi or that he used for Danny Garcia. You that hype, you that press to fight Paulie Malignaggi that you shouting across the room. Why don't you shout across the Atlantic Ocean to Kell Brook? Why didn't you? I'm sure he would have obliged you. I think he would have. Kell was having trouble finding people to fight from what I remember. But you wasn't acting with him the way you was acting with Danny. And what was Danny at that time? A guy moving up from 140. So I'm wondering if you wasn't always fraudulent. Because that's how it looked. They're like, yo, you was never really that nice. You was all right. You was solid. But at best, you was solid. You wasn't ever that A+ level. Not like Crawford. Not like Crawford.
Hey, can I ask the panel a question, Jay?
Go ahead, bro.
All right. When it comes to Terrence Crawford, what do you guys think? And I'll give you my answer and then let y'all take off. What do y'all think about him saying he's not fighting any fight without fans? Now, my idea on it is this. It's bullshit. Because the state of boxing, where the state of boxing is right now, and the fact, Crawford, you need to keep proving, like, bro, take a pay cut. You know, he don't want to take no pay cut or fight without fans. Like, dog, nah. I'm not with that. What is y'all feeling about that? He don't want to pay cut or fight without fans.
All right, let me do this. Let me do this real quick. Let me do this. I would have had thoughts on that, but based on the news that's coming out of the United Kingdom, I have no thoughts because they talking about letting fans watch fights at the end of August and the beginning of September. They're gonna start letting people come to fights. Crawford is supposed to come back in November, right? So that's after August and September. So what I'm thinking is it's kind of a non-issue at this point because hypothetically, let's say he trying to fight Kell Brook. That's probably going to be in the UK, more than likely, because they was talking about it before all this shit happened. They was talking about, yo, Crawford might go to the UK and fight Brook on a Sky Sports pay-per-view. So maybe he get the fight in front of fans. Whatever the case is, by the end of August and the beginning of September, the UK is going to let people come to fights. In Australia, Jeff Horn and Tim Tszyu, they're going to let 16,000 people watch that fight, bro. So by the time it's time for Crawford to go back to the ring, there might be an audience.
And we got to let Bob make his announcement before we jump the gun. Let Bob make his announcement. He said he's got a big announcement coming. Probably going to be some bullcrap. Yeah, I think he might fight Ramirez. I think he might announce Ramirez. Crawford.
Nah, Ramirez. The Ramirez Pascal fight is a done deal, bro.
No, and you go,
Taylor.
Hey,
after the big announcement is after post-style Crawford versus Ramirez.
What?
Yeah, I've had people on Facebook just hyping that fight, like Ramirez versus Crawford. I don't know, man.
Let me holler at Jay Cooley. Yeah. All right, because he a big Spence. I ain't forget him. He a big Spence fan, bro. Your boy is about to fight Danny Garcia. What belt Danny got? How many pay-per-views Danny sold? If your boy is in tip-top shape, then he don't have no excuse to not fight Crawford. If you good for Danny, why you not good for Bud? If you good for Danny, you good for Danny right off the car accident. You don't need a tune-up. You got Danny. So why you don't just fight Bud? Why don't Errol stop wasting my time?
You know he ain't in tip-top shape, though.
So hold on. Let me answer these questions. I mean, Julius, you could be right in the aspect that, it might not be a non-issue because they might let audience back in. But then again, if you look at the U.S., there's a resurgence of COVID-19, and that could happen globally. So we don't know what's going to happen in the future. What I think, though, from what I get from what Crawford said is, I'm all about fighters wanting to make as much money as possible. That's cool, but this is a different circumstance because of what's going on in the world. I do not like that mentality. No, I'm not going to give anybody a shot if I can't get paid what I normally get paid, even though circumstances will not allow that to happen. So I don't like that mentality at all, regardless if he fights with a crowd or not. I just don't like that mentality.
I'm going to say this, right? The crowd shit, I'm going to say that's a situation where I was waiting to see what develops because Teofimo Lopez said that shit. And when he said that shit, I understood it like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? You get to a point, this sport, you ain't going to have a long shelf life. You got to try to make your money and run. So a fight like that, like a Lomachenko fight, right? I understand, like, look, man, y'all got to pay me, dog. This is my biggest fight of my career. This is the biggest fight of my career so far. I'm trying to get paid. So I dig that. But what I'm going to say about Crawford is what I'm going to come back for. Remember, the PBC guys don't want to fight me. So who am I even coming back for? Who I'm coming back for? I ain't coming back for Sean. I ain't coming back for Thurman. Errol about to fight Danny. So why would I even be pressed to come back when I'm coming back to the same bullshit from before? Thurman ain't got nobody. He, you know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be like an A-side or something. All right, A-side. When you gonna send me a contract? If I'm Lil old Crawford that can't sell no pay-per-views, motherfucker, you should be sending me a contract. Much shit as y'all talk. You should be sending me a contract. If I'm Crawford, you know what I would do? I'll fuck around, retire. Like, man, fuck y'all. I'm gonna retire undefeated, the last American undisputed champion. Fuck my dick. You're never gonna do what I did, and I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, I mean, with Crawford, it's got to be a catch-22. Like, you know what I mean?
We acting before COVID messed everything up, right? The situation was critical. They was talking about Luis Collazo, bro. They were talking about Luis Collazo and Chris Van Heerden. These was the options. Bob talking about some Manny, but I'm not going to believe that till I see Sean Gibbons. I said it in 4 lives. I'm going to say it 5. This is going to be the 5th. Till I see Sean Gibbons talking about some Terrence Crawford, or I see Boo Boy Fernandez talking about some Terrence Crawford, I don't believe it. So I don't look at Manny as a possible. Kell Brook is a possible, but Kell Brook going to want buku dollars. And I don't know if Aaron want to spend that behind the Amir Khan numbers. I don't know if he want to put up the kind of money it's going to take to get Kell Brook. So what are we really looking at? If I'm Terrence Crawford, y'all pressing me to come back to fight with no audience against who, bro? The same guys that didn't want to fight me already? Against who, bro? Like, if I'm Crawford, what would I be pressed to come back for when this whole goddamn stable don't want to fight me? We been offered Danny an opportunity. What he do? He turn it down. He fight Ivan Redkach. And y'all give him a pass. Y'all give him a pass for that dumb shit.
Yeah.
Now, Julius, I said earlier today that I'm looking at Porter and Crawford as ducks now, ducking each other. Let me explain this. Both of these guys said the same thing pretty much. They both agreed they didn't want to fight each other because of, their friendship coming up and everything. But they also both said, if there's nothing else in front of us, and this is the fight they make, then we get in the ring. Yet they ain't making that fight, and I think now is the time to do it. Fucking Crawford can't find a fight.
I agree with you, D. But my thing is this: look, the guaranteed purse to Sean was $2 million for Errol Spence, who's supposed to be the Buku A-side king shit of welterweight. The most that fight guaranteed you was $2 million. So let's say Top Rank cough up $3 million for Porter. Nah, that's not enough. Nah, because that's what I'm waiting for. It's always the same kind of bullshit. If Danny Garcia was offered $3 or $4 million, something like that, and what they start talking about, why y'all gave Khan 7? Bro, don't worry about what we gave Khan. Worry about you. We offered you a pay-per-view upside, a title shot, and $4 million guaranteed. And what you do? Fight Ivan Redkach. That's what you do. You fight Ivan Redkach. I'm to the point where I'm like, bro, if I'm Crawford, I'm like, man, whatever. Till these motherfuckers decide they want to fight me, it ain't about nothing anyway. If it ain't one of them, it's going to get treated like it ain't nobody. Because Mean Machine was a solid fighter. But what they said, that dude's a nobody. Nah, he's a solid fighter. He's an Olympian. He had a good background. But the casuals don't know that, so they ain't even going to care if I fight him.
Now, Mean Machine was good. But if Bud's career was to end today, would it be a good look, really?
Yep. Because he's already accomplished enough before he moved to 147. I don't give a shit what these fans want him to do, clean out the division, fight this guy, fight that guy, whatever. To me, he's already accomplished enough on his journey to 147. Taking a belt at 147 just adds on to his legacy. So I think he's good if he retires today.
Yeah, because he's a lightweight fighter moved up. Like,
already cleaned the whole division out.
Yeah, he already won 3 divisional titles and then was undisputed. So, I mean, in junior welterweight, I agree with you. Like, there's not much more for him to do. Everything he does from here is just icing on the cake. Looking at Bud, as strong as Bud is at welterweight, I believe he can move up still. So I think he still has a lot of ceiling room to move because he looks very strong at welterweight. And he might look even stronger if he moves up and he's not cutting as much weight to get to welterweight.
Well, I told you that Bud was forged on Olympus by Hephaestus. All right, Bud is the modern day Achilles. That's what he is. That's who he is. He's Achilles.
You know what will prove that though, Julius? I think the Sean Porter fight for Bud, fight because no matter what you say about Sean Porter, he makes every fight ugly and close. But
he knocks out Sean. He knocks him, and I'm telling you now.
I'm with you. Listen.
He knocks out Sean. He knocks out Sean, D. He knocks him out.
You know what? Oh, I got you. Let me tell you what's going to happen.
Okay.
What's going to happen. Manny Pacquiao is about to fight Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor going to knock him out, then knock Bud Crawford out. How about that?
Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. You know why I say he knocks him out? I did a whole video on it, right? You ain't got to believe me. Terrence Crawford has experience dealing with fighters that have a low center of gravity. Fighters that fight like a metronome. They move side to side. They want to slip and hook. He fought a guy like that in Gamboa, a fighter with a smaller center of gravity, a lower center of gravity at 35. Then he fought Felix Diaz. Same kind of situation, but with a more durable guy, slightly bigger guy, Felix Diaz. That was at 140. Sean Porter is going to try to do the same thing. It's the same situation. You got a fighter who's trying to close the gap on you and get inside on you. Crawford done been there and done that already. So with Sean, now that he's at welterweight and he's fully acclimated to the division, I'm telling you, these other guys ain't accurate like Bud. They're not accurate like this guy. He's
a sharpshooter.
He's a sharpshooter.
Go ahead, Beats.
Sean Porter,
right? has got a great set of legs, right? Sean Porter is going to try and block him, and he's going to dogcate it, and he's going to draw, take into exchange, and it's going to be a tough ass fight. Trust me.
You know,
he going to do to Sean what ain't ever been done.
That's
Listen,
where I'm at, Beats. I'm where Beats is on that fight. But I feel you do this. Look, I want to say this, guys. I think that potentially Crawford could be the first to stop him. Spence put him down. And he jumped right back up now. But I think up here, getting hit up top, I think Crawford wields a little more power than Spence. And if Spence could put him down like that, Crawford be a more accurate.
Hold on. I gotta ask, who eating Captain Crunch?
He could.
Who eating Captain Crunch?
I don't know. Somebody munching though. So I think he could. I don't think he would though. I think he has the potential to. I don't think Porter would allow that. They know each other too well. That's another thing. They know each other.
All right. I got $100. Not only does he beat Porter decisively, he stops him. I got $100 says he does that shit.
And he stops Crawford?
So
if they fight, I might make you that bet, man.
Yeah, that sounds. I'm all right with that one.
I might get some of that action.
He stops him. Ain't no judges. He stops him.
Yeah,
Look,
I might give you some action on that, fam. And I don't even gamble.
I like Bud the best out of all the welterweights. I think he's the best one. However, me personally, I don't think I would take that bet, because I know Sean Porter and Bud have sparred countless rounds with each other. They know each other in and out. And I think with as much experience as Porter has with him, he's not going to allow himself to get in that situation where he will be knocked out.
Bro,
I just think
the experience that he has with Sean, right, is when they were adolescents. You see, they full-grown men now. They fully grown, right? Crawford is not just a better boxer than Sean. I do think he's stronger than Sean. I do. And it helps that he's a better boxer, that he could fight your southpaw, he could fight your orthodox. And I'm telling you now, you're not going to get inside on Bud the way you got inside on Errol. You're not.
Yeah, but he's not always going to be trying to get inside. Sean can use his legs pretty well, right? So he'll be able to juggle with Crawford with the boxing for length of periods as well. He's got good legs and feet. So if he draws, at least Sean can't. Terrence can't resist the exchanges. He can't resist the exchanges. He's got that type of ego. He can be drawn in. You know?
That's true. You hit Crawford, he got that mentality. I'm gonna get your ass back because he gets angry. He does it every fight. And
And what happens? What happens to guys that manage to get a clean one in on Crawford? They get fucking stopped, bro. Crawford is the strongest finisher at welterweight. The strongest finisher. Bro, Benavidez managed to make it to the 12th and got stopped.
I agree. But
to me, Julius, that's the reason he don't fucking stop Crawford. That don't really help your point, fam. Because you're talking about
figure.
What?
How you figure?
Benavidez. Look, Crawford, this is why I said don't help your point. Crawford taking, what was it, 20 seconds left in the fucking 12th round? Taking that long to stop Jose Benavidez. Bro, Sean Porter probably has one of the toughest chins in this division between him, Spence, and Danny.
No, but the thing is that Sean Porter going to try to stay in front of you. That's the difference. You got to
fight Crawford like that. You're going to fight Crawford more like he fought Thurman.
Nah, because he could have. If he was going to do that, he would have did that against Spence. He tried to run Spence over.
I don't know, man. We're going to have to see. I want that bet, though. That $100 bet. I want that.
I think, Julius, as much as I like Bud, I think you were downplaying Porter just a little too much. You got to understand, every loss Porter has been raised. Like, if he would have had a slight little adjustments, he could have won those fights. They were razor thin, decided within a round. Like, razor thin. So he's never been dominated. He's never been made to look bad. That's why I'm saying, if Bud can do what you say he can do, there is no doubt Bud is the best welterweight there. But I'm
telling you right now, he stops him. Y'all don't want to believe it. The power of belief. I got $100. Terrence Crawford. Stop Sean Porter. In the distance. Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible.
What
Like
round?
I said, I think he could potentially stop him, but I don't think he gets it done.
What round you call it, Junior? This stuff is what round? What
10th,
round?
11th. 10th, 11th. It's going to take. He's got. It's going. I believe. This is what I believe. Right. This is at least. This is my view of the fight. Those first 4 rounds, it's going to be tough. The first 4 rounds. But Porter's going to start taking more punishment than he's ever took because them guys, they not as accurate as Bud. Them guys, I'm telling you, they not. He's getting off power shots on the go. He's going to hit Porter clean quite a few times. By the time the middle rounds roll around, then you're going to see Porter start to wilt. 10th, 11th, he gets stopped. Fucking quote me, he gets stopped.
If he does end up beating
very hard to knock somebody out in your chest. It's very hard because you can't keep them at the end of your punch. They're almost smothering their punch.
Bro. Terrence Crawford, watch him when guys try to close the gap on him. He takes a half step back while he's still throwing punches, so he still has a little bit of space to get some velocity and some torque on the punches. He don't just stand there like Spence and trade. He always take a little half step back or pivot off to the side to keep that little bit of room. So when he throw, it's actually something on the punch. That's what Spence wasn't doing. You just standing there with Sean Porter throwing punches. You just standing there. Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford knows how to catch and shoot, man. Like he steps back and then unleashes that uppercut, he cranks it. He could drop, Porter just like Spence did.
Right.
People just underrate his power a little bit too much, man.
Also, and Julius, when Terrence Crawford stopped Jeff Horn, when he stopped Jeff Horn, I say that was by the referee a mercy stoppage because Jeff Horn just really couldn't do nothing with Crawford. Crawford started hitting him at will, so it was an unnecessary punishment stopping. That's why that fight was stopped. But he wasn't putting Horn out of there. Horn was taking the shots and all around the ring, but he kept coming. He kept coming. So the ref was like, you know what?
Look, before you go talking about my guy, Jeff Horn, understand something. Michael Zarafa was beating the shit out of this man, right? Horn is tougher than he looked. Yeah. He's tougher than he looked. Michael Zarafa was beating this man's ass in both of them fights. Horn is the kind of guy that you might have to kill this dude, bro. Because
he's always tough. They're always tough.
So is Sean Porter. He's tough. He's tough as that, and that's my thing. And he boxes better than Horn.
Yeah, that's true. He boxes better than Horn. Way better.
I give you that. But I'm telling you, D, he's gonna stop that guy, and you don't want to stop that shit. You don't have to, because I'll accept your money.
All I know is if he stops Sean Porter, then that Errol Spence fight that can will get kicked so far down the road that he might actually be owed by the time he fights him.
I tell you what, if he can stop Sean Porter, that would be one of the most impressive welterweight performances in the last 10 years.
Then prepare to be impressed, because that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to see. This Terrence Crawford. This Terrence Crawford. This ain't Ice Cream Keith Thurman. This ain't flipping Ferraris, air rolls. But this is Terrence Crawford.
I'll tell y'all this. Ain't no bet going to happen. And ain't no knockout going to happen because those two bastards ain't getting in the ring together, man.
I mean, did you see what Gervonta Davis said on Twitter? He said something that sounded a lot like Sean Porter about to fight Ivan Redkach.
Oh, yeah?
Him and Ivan Redkach was having an argument, right, on Twitter about the sparring. And he says something to Ivan like, don't take that Sean Porter fight because something like that, like something he gonna beat your ass. I didn't know Ivan Redkach was in the running for a Sean Porter fight. Looked like So I mean, in all honesty, I don't think that Crawford and Sean are gonna fight. I wish they would so I could take all y'all's money. But I really don't think they're gonna fight. I think in all likelihood it's gonna be Brook. I think it's gonna be Brook. Brook makes sense right now. You know what I mean? Brook looked all right in his last fight.
Has he knocked out Brook?
147?
At 147, yeah. Oh, wait, no, not at 147. The last fight was Mark DeLuca, Bazooka DeLuca at 54. But I really like how Brook looked in that fight. Like, he was switch hitting. He was switching from orthodox to southpaw.
Look, Julius, you got to understand. When Kell Brook went up to fight Triple G, right, he was super muscle bound. He looked good at that weight. When he dropped back down to fight Errol Spence, where he took his first loss, he looked like a refugee on the scale. I don't think he can fight 47.
But that's look. I don't make the rules, bro. That's where Brook, ain't he back at the Dominic Engel gym? I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think he's back with Dom.
So he'll make 47. You know, he'll make 47, bro.
The brownies will come out.
The brownies will come out, bro. The way that Canelo got that special meats, Dominic Engel got the special brownies, bro. Got the special brownies. He'll make 47. He won't win, but he'll make 47. If you don't
brownies will help him with 147, he gonna be too weight drained. It's not even gonna be competitive.
Bro, look. I'm not saying it's gonna be competitive. I'm just saying look at what the circumstances are. Danny was free. He didn't want to fight you. Keith Thurman is still free. We know he don't want to fight you, bro. We know. Errol about to fight Danny. Sean, y'all on y'all friend shit. Like, no friend. We're friends. No. I think you gotta fight Kell Brook then, bro. Like, otherwise, who you gonna fight?
Let me ask
you. So what round does it stop him then?
I don't think honestly. I don't think that makes it to the midpoint.
Would Bud fight him at 150?
If he did, it ain't gonna be for a belt. And Kell's whole thing is he want to fight for a title. Like you forgetting that the reason that Kell wants to fight Bud is for Bud's belt. If they fight at 50, it ain't gonna be for the belt.
I think Kell Brook is a very good fighter. I just think he is going to be ineffective at 147. He's
Look, I'm not. Look. I've been saying for 12 goddamn months, I want to see Kell Brook versus Liam Smith. If you don't give me that, I want to see Kell Brook fight either Tim Tszyu or Jeff Horn or the winner of Tim Tszyu versus Jeff Horn. I've been saying that shit for like a year, bro. I don't think that he should go to 47, but he is. And Dominic Engel going to help him get there. Because if anybody can, Dominic can.
I kind of feel like he should have just fought Amir Khan when he had the chance. Because I think that would have been a big...
He didn't fuck the Khan fight up, man. Khan fucked up the fight. Khan chose to fight Billy goddamn Dib for a pearl belt in Saudi Arabia when you could have been fighting Kell Brook.
Khan is scared shitless of Kell Brook. He's never wanted that fight.
Maybe they just didn't. I'm not saying that anyone fucked it up, but maybe the money wasn't right, and that's why it's not happening. Because you know, Khan is a money man.
I'm not saying. Look. I respect that Khan is about his paper. I'm not taking it away, right? But at the same time, if you telling me that you rather fight Billy Dib in Saudi Arabia, right? You rather do that. That tell me everything I need to know, bro. You rather fight Samuel fucking Vargas and look like...
How much did you get paid to fight in Saudi Arabia? You know them Saudis got deep pockets.
The story was that they offered him 7, but the story also was that he didn't get the 7.
Okay. But imagine getting offered a 7 to fight nobody.
Bro, I understand that, but at the same time, if you telling me, yo, I chose to fight Billy Dib instead of Brook, bro, you would have made more than 7 with Brook. Come on now. Sky Sports pay-per-view, while that fight still had a pulse, yeah, you would have made more than 7 with Brook. But why fight Brook for close to 7 when you could fight Billy Dib for 7? Billy Dib, who retired after the Tevin Farmer fight at 130 fucking pounds. It's like I'm supposed to forgive that, bro. And you fought him at what, 47? How I'm supposed to forgive that, bro?
All I know is Kell Brook was chasing Amir Khan for years, and I think Amir Khan never wanted to fight him because Amir Khan has lost to every step-up fight, every elite fighter he has lost to, and if he lost to Brook, that would be career suicide. That's why the fight never happened. Mm-hmm. And I Khan stands a chance against Brook. He gets knocked out fast.
If Amir Khan fights Kell Brook at 154 pounds it's not going to be enough of Khan left to put in the casket. Because I firmly believe Brook will beat this man worse than Crawford did just because they hate each other. Just because they hate each other.
That would be a very, very interesting fight. But I just kind of feel like at the time when I wanted that fight, when before Kell Brook had all the situations that he's had with his eye socket, I just thought if they had fought then, yeah, maybe Khan would have got his ass knocked out. But now, because of all the inactivity between both of them, like I don't know where anyone's head's at, really.
Man, listen, if they were announcing Brook and Khan, I'm buying the pay-per-view. I don't care what, no, I'm buying that because I know the build-up's going to be good. They might be past it, but I want to see the event. I'm buying. Listen, how much? £20, Eddie? I got you. £25, I got you.
I'm going to tell you right now. That fight still has a chance because remember, fucking Anthony Mundine, old as shit, fought Danny Green for the second time. And that fucking fight was a $30 million fight in Australia. So don't fucking tell me that Kell Brook and Amir Khan can't put asses in the seats. It can.
Oh, they will do. Up north in England, that's a big fight, Julius. Trust me.
That fight still puts asses in the seats. But that's why I blame Khan. Because you know what that fight is worth. Even you know what that fight is worth. That you can have that fight right now and it's worth money. But you keep choosing to do other shit. Remember, you chose Crawford over Brook. You chose Billy Dib over Brook. You fucking fought Samuel Vargas. It's like, yo, why did Matchroom sign this guy? They signed him to fight Brook. And what does he do? Not fight Brook.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because Julius, like I said, if Khan lost to Brook, he loses all his English fans. They've been a rival forever. Brook came into the game wanting to fight him. That's how long this goes back. I only know that because I like Brook. I like them chocolate brownies. Like, I like that quote. I don't think Khan wants to do it because he knows it's career suicide when he gets knocked the fuck out. Because he will get knocked the fuck out.
He don't want to get knocked out by Brook, though. That's the thing. He don't want Brook to knock him out.
Because I think it's the Asian thing, right? Because both of them are Asian, and obviously it's like the battle for the Asian fans.
Kell Brook ain't Asian.
Is he not?
Nah, he's half black.
He looks Asian though.
No, he's half black, bro. He's half black.
He don't look black to me.
Nah, Kell Brook's half black. You see, look at his hair. He's, Kell got that. I mean,
look, man, Kell Brook beats Kell fucking Brook, right? He could lose his next 10 fights. I'd still pick him to beat Khan. Khan never wanted Khan don't want to sneeze in that man's direction. Never did. Why you signed the Matchroom, bro? Why did you even bother to sign the Matchroom? You know why Eddie gave you that contract.
He just got knocked out by Canelo, right? He had no juice in America at all, right? So he ran out of all the juice in America, right? Joshua and whoever built up British boxing, and he said, "Yeah, let me go over there now and show my face." That's what he jumped on the.
I'm gonna tell you what it was. He just like Beats just said. He see what Joshua and Eddie Hearn are doing. Oh, I get some money fighting on the Anthony Joshua undercard. I could fucking fight a couple of guys on a Joshua. Let me go over there. As soon as you get over there, where Eddie starts talking about, yo, you gonna fight Brook? Yeah, I'll fight Brook. And then what he do? He don't fight Brook. You fought who he fought? He fought fucking Phil LaGreco.
Yeah.
For Phil LaGreco, you fought Samuel Vargas and got dropped.
Yeah, he did.
Like, bro, it's like it's obvious. That's why I'm like, look, we can't treat that situation like there's even blame. It's not even blame. Khan didn't want to fight. He was like homeboy just said in the comments. Amir Khan is the original Amanda Serrano. You doing everything you can, looking for every alternative to get out of that fight. You never really wanted that fight.
The original Amanda Serrano, you know. He is though. He is. He don't want it.
I don't even understand why he don't want it. Like, I'm with Julius. Like, bro, how could you? Like, how could you fight a Crawford but not fight a Brook? Why? Like, how could you not want this fight?
Because he know that after the fight, what they gonna say? Oh, ain't no shame in losing to Crawford. He pound for pound. But if you lose to Brook,
facts,
different, bro.
Fair point.
Right.
Well, did you hear what I said earlier about it? Why they never fought?
Nah.
No, what I said was I honestly believe you got to understand Amir Khan and Kell Brook at one point in time, those were the premier British fighters right there, especially at that weight class. So if Amir Khan would have got knocked the fuck out like he would get knocked the fuck out by Brook, it's career suicide. Like he loses his fan base.
Yeah.
Because you know
Khan has got the thing that he's a big superstar. I fought in America, all the big shows and stuff. And Sheffield is about a 20-mile car drive from Bolton, right? So it's just around the corner. He can't deal with going around Manchester. Oh yeah, he just got beaten up by Kell, and you know, see, he wants to be the big dog of up north. That's what he wants to do.
I'll tell you what I think, Beats. Amir Khan would sooner fight PBK before Kell Brook. I could actually see that happening. I could see Amir Khan versus Josh Kelly at 147 pounds before I see Kell Brook.
Julius, I don't think he let no British fighter get the chance to beat him up right now.
No, I think he would go for it with Josh Kelly. I do. Anybody but Brook.
I don't know.
He's not retired, right? He's not retired. You already got fucked up by Crawford. You're not getting a Pacquiao fight, all right? You don't look like you want to fight Spence either. I don't see Khan pouring no energy into a Spence fight. But we know you ain't going to get Manny, and you're not retired, all right? So who you sticking around to fight? In all likelihood, he fights fucking the winner of Cheeseman versus Eggington, or he fights...
And Cheeseman might get him too, because Cheeseman be going hard, boy.
Why do you think because he's been chasing that Manny Pacquiao fight forever. Why do you think Pacquiao's never said, do you know what, I'll knock you out? Yeah, I'll knock you out. Why do you think he's never taken that fight? Because it would be big money for both of them, really.
No, he did nearly take it. Bob vetoed it. They basically had the deal done in Saudi Arabia, and Bob vetoed the fight.
Okay.
I think this is what I think, man.
Fought Jeff Horn. They vetoed the fight. Yeah.
I honestly think, and I'm not gonna accuse Manny of ducking because I don't think that Manny is afraid. I don't even think Manny's team is afraid of the fight. But there was a time when you could have looked at Amir as, you know what, this guy's got hand speed. He knows how to box real good. He moves around the ring a bit. He can make a guy look bad. You know, he could. He could make a guy look bad. Because there has to be a reason that this man will not shut the fuck up about this Packy. Like, bro, you're not going to get that fight. He's 42. You still chasing this motherfucker, bro.
Well, Julius.
Pacquiao's going to knock him out with that left hand at some stage in the first.
Hey, I will Amir Khan that. Every person Amir Khan has fought, even when he has been knocked out, outside of Bud Crawford, every person he fought, he made look bad till he got knocked out. I give him that. Outside of Bud just whooped that ass from the beginning.
And that's what he do to Sean Porter.
Brady Prescott finished him off straight away.
Yeah, 1 round, man.
That's what he would do to Sean Porter. You know how Amir Khan never really gets outboxed, but Crawford outboxed him, right? That's how he would do Porter. Porter never gets manhandled, but he get manhandled by Terrence Crawford. Manhandled, manhandled. All right,
you're really convinced of this one, yeah? You're really convinced of that.
I'm telling you, trying to tell you,
he ain't knocking out Porter. I don't see it.
All right, let's see. George, I appreciate it. George says over the hill, Amir Khan took out LaGreco faster than Porter. That's true. That's true. Everybody forgot. Errol Spence fought Phil LaGreco a long fucking time ago.
When Khan fought LaGreco, he went over the hill.
Yeah, the Greco was like in fat camp for that fight, man.
Right.
Yeah,
they fought when he fought LaGreco.
They fought at 54, so I don't even count it because that ain't Phil LaGreco's natural weight, man. That dude ain't no junior middleweight.
Nah.
I swear to God, if Bob Arum announces Crawford versus Van Heerden, I'm not. Oh my God!
Hey! I bet you don't stop him.
Who, Chris? I bet I'll make a friendly wager. $20 he stops him before the half.
If they fight, that's I don't even gamble, but yeah, I'll do that. Chris Van Heerden's fucking tough as nail, dog.
No, he tough, and he got good fighting spirit, but it's just this dude hits you clean, bro. That's the thing that always gets me about. He hits you clean, dog, and he's doing it on the go, but he's landing flush.
Nah,
He's go ahead, B.
7 rounds of Terrence Switch hitting on him. Van Heerden, he'd be done, man. He'd be done.
I know Crawford may have a little more power than Spence. Let's not like upstairs anyway, up top. I can agree with that. But dude, Errol Spence was laying some clean ass body shots and shots upstairs, and Chris Van Heerden just stood up.
Yeah, but Errol was green when he had that fight. You see what I'm saying? Like Errol, you remember when Errol had that? It was years ago. He wasn't. I'm gonna say that the Errol that fought Chris Van Heerden, right, is not the Errol that fought Kell Brook.
Well, was he with Blue Ray then?
I think so.
So that's
look at how many fights was in between that though.
I feel you, man. I don't see it, man. I think you think Crawford got just more power. I understand the technique and like we hear there the clean punches, but I think you're giving him a little more power than he has, bro.
Listen,
and you're gauging it off of.
I was on Olympus when they built Crawford. I saw when Zeus and Hephaestus put them together. That's how I know he stopped Sean Porter. That's how I know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. It's just like this, Jay. This is what I feel. Honestly, fam. I give him credit. I do give Crawford credit, but he stopped Benavidez extremely late. Jeff Horn, again, like you say, he's tough as nails too. But that was enough punches. That was that kind of stop. Mir Khan is chinny as fuck. So yeah, he stopped him too.
Mm-hmm.
Kavialaskas.
Look. I'm all right now. Kavialaskas I'm glad you brought that up. I feel Kavialaskas was a better barometer, obviously, than Amir Khan. Obviously better than Horn because Horn was struggling to make weight. A lot of people forget that too. Kavialaskas is real big for welterweight. He's solid all the way through, and he beat that man like he was a journeyman. He beat him like he was a journeyman. Right? This is an undefeated fighter, never lost a fight. Former Olympian, solid, real big for 147. He beat him like he was a fucking journeyman. Now, I admit that he got dropped, but that's what happens when you fight solid fighters. That's what happens when you fight solid fighters. They're going to test you. You're going to have a little bit of a hard time.
Or, Jay, that's what happens when you get reckless because you want to get that get back. Now, Crawford has that mentality. You cannot deny that. And before Kavialaskas dropped his ass, he popped his ass a couple of times. And Crawford was coming back to do what Crawford generally does. I'm going to get you back.
Remember, when Crawford was getting hit with those right hands, what stance was he fighting out of?
Southpaw, wasn't it?
That's why. If Kavialaskas has a good right hand, I'm not going to say it's Linares' right hand where it's a laser. I'm not going to say that. But he has a good right hand. You got a fighter who's open to exchange and he's fighting out of the southpaw stance. Your money punch is a right hand. Now you see Wilder and Ortiz. Wilder can't even box, but he can land the right hand. Why? Because Ortiz is southpaw. He was in line for it. He's in line, and the man can't box. But
hey, dog, you know I can't even do this shit with you, dog. I can't. You know why I can't do it with you? You know why I can't do this with you? Because we know too much about what's going on in that ring, dog. I can't even do it with you. I'm not conceding here. I still say no, but you know too much. It's usually an easier job because most people don't know what the fuck they see in that ring. So, you know what I mean?
I'm just saying, if he would have, and we know that most of the time, even though we talk about Crawford being ambidextrous a lot, right? Because we talk about it all the time. He don't really switch to orthodox till like round 6, round 7. He come out southpaw.
Yeah. Intentionally too, because he said he wants to master it. He did that intentionally in the Horn fight. He fought predominantly southpaw in that fight.
So when you got a fighter that has a good right hand and you got a dude who prefers to fight southpaw to orthodox, these things happen. But the misconception is that you should look down on him because Mean Machine don't have all this push and all this press and all this hype. But don't confuse that for him being a pushover, because I'm telling you, I'm not sure that Danny Garcia would beat Mean Machine, and I'm not joking.
Me either.
I'm dead at, like, bro, that dude is trying to win, bro. Like, that dude ain't here for a check. He ain't on that path of least resistance shit. He hungry. He want to make a statement. So a complacent fighter against Aegis, yeah, I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
You know what would be a good fight, Jay? Kavialaskas and Ugas.
Yeah.
Great fight. Great fight.
Because Ugas is, like I said, I'm not going to say I think Ugas is hungry as he needs to be, but I know that I feel Ugas is hungrier than a Danny Garcia. He hungrier than a Keith Thurman. He got, what did they give him for the Sean Porter fight? $300,000 fucking dollars? You know he hungry. You didn't even get $1 million for that fight. That was a title fight.
You think he stops Danny? That's what Punch Drunk just asked. I don't think so. You think he stops Danny?
I think he could outwork Danny.
Yeah, for sure. He beats Danny for sure. I'm just like, do you think he stops him though? He puts him away.
I think Bud could knock out Danny. I think he would be too much more powerful. I don't care what Thurman said about, oh, it was the hardest punch I ever felt. Bullshit.
Oh, wait, we talking about Crawford?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he stops Danny. Yeah, he stops Danny. I think he stops Danny.
I think Danny just hit Bud at bay. But I'm gonna get off. Thank you for the invite.
I before I go, I'm gonna just, because I'm about to get off too. I think it's a referee stoppage though. I think it's because of too many unanswered shots. I don't know about Cole sleeping him, but I think the referee looks at the condition of Garcia after a couple of clean ones keep landing, and he's just not doing enough. Like, you're not, because remember, even when Danny is in a competitive fight, he's not really throwing a lot. Like, look at Thurman versus Garcia. He wasn't throwing a lot in that fight. Garcia versus Porter. You could have took it from him if you would have threw a little more. And that's in a competitive fight. So imagine with somebody dominating them. Like, you just getting hit now. You just getting hit. I think Crawford would stop him, but it'll be a referee stoppage.
I could accept that, because that's what happened with Horn.
Yeah.
I said enough is enough.
And one thing I wanted to say is, do you think that PBC will allow Crawford to clean out their stable?
No. I'm gonna be honest when I say this, and it's very sad because I don't want his career to turn out like that. But it wouldn't surprise me, and I've said this for at least 12 months. It wouldn't surprise me if the Spence fight don't happen. The buzz that the Spence fight has, right? Once upon a time, the Rigo versus Leo Santa Cruz fight had that buzz, and that shit didn't happen. Once upon a time, Leo Santa Cruz versus Gary Russell had that buzz. That shit didn't happen. The fucking Charlo versus Hurd fight, that shit should have happened. Why is Charlo fighting Tony Harrison? Why is Jared Hurd fighting Julian Williams? What are y'all waiting for? Like, what the fuck?
Why the hell is Plant not fighting Benavidez?
Exactly. And we all know why. Samson Lukowicz, he want to wait. So if they do that shit with their own fighters that's on their side, what you think they going to do with a fighter that ain't on their side? That's why it wouldn't surprise me if they don't fight.
Y'all want to know why this is one of my favorite channels? And I'm not just saying this shit. This is one of my favorite channels because I often come over here to confirm what I've been thinking. I just said the same shit again. How many times have I said that? Just on my last live. The same shit Julius just said. I just said it on my last live. And so I respect this man, of having boxing knowledge, and I respect it. So I always come here and listen to Jay sometimes to confirm what I'm thinking. And thank you.
I appreciate it. And honestly, when I saw the stance that Spence took when he got drunk on the podium, right? That was like literally, I wasn't always against the PBC. A lot of people like they probably forgot that I used to watch they fights and like I used to like they fighters. What put me over the top was Davis Lomachenko and Spence Crawford. That it's like, yo, dog, y'all really not trying to make no fights. Like I didn't forget that y'all protected Quiller from Korobov. Y'all protected him. I didn't believe Oscar when he said what he said all them years ago till Leo confirmed it. Like, yo, Al bought out my contract so that I wouldn't fight Rigo because he said the fans don't want to see that fight. It took a lot of shit before I finally got like tired of the PBC. Like, yo, like y'all just really not trying to make no fights, bro. Like, you can't treat every fight like a Mayweather fight. You got to let them fight. That's why I'm looking at this Spence and Crawford, and I'm like, look, they don't care about that fight, bro. They don't care about that fight.
Nope.
They will let that shit turn into cold product in front of everybody and act like nothing happened. Leo said, like, bro, Leo, look at Leo. Like, bro, how is this dude even still around? You was in a live 126. You wasn't in a dead 126. You was in a live 126. And all you did was fight Carl Frampton after he beat you. That's all you did.
Facts, bro. And people gotta understand, like what Jay's saying, Leo don't want that fight. This time it's not just the PBC. This is Bob too. Bob don't really want that fight.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Look, let me tell you why I say that. Because of Bob Arum says he detests unifications either. He cannot stand for belt unifications because it costs him too much money. That's what he said. And we know Bob is all about money.
That's true.
The motherfucker don't really want to fight. It's just like I said when Julius, when he came out and he was like, he trashed the hell out of Al Heyman. Al Heyman is bad for this. The hell with Al Heyman, blah, 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 blah. And then demands to go to the negotiation table. Bob knew fucking well that wasn't the way to get to that negotiation table.
This is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say, right? Bob Arum, right? Even though I know that he's averse to unifications, and I know why, because those are all different sanctioning fees that you're gonna have to pay for every one of them fucking belts. And I dig that. But remember, he still guided Bud to the Undisputed Championship at 140. He still had the unification fight between Vosdick and Beterbiev. He still had the unification fight between Ramirez and Hooker, and he had to let his man cross the street because he wasn't going to put up the kind of money for Hooker that Matchroom was going to put up for Ramirez. So even though he said what he said, since then, he has shown that, like, yeah, I'll let the unification fights happen. Look at Lomachenko, from Linares to Campbell to Pedraza. So it's not like he ain't shown and proved that, yeah, we'll make the fights happen. If we got to deal with Golden Boy, we'll deal with Golden Boy. If we got to deal with Matchroom, we deal with Matchroom. We got to deal with Queensberry, we deal with Queensberry. Bob say a lot of shit, but actions speak louder than words. And more of Bob's guys are unifying than PBC's guys. Ain't his man Loma about to fight Teofimo in a what? A unification fight. He about to have him fight Teofimo. If you think about it, he could have kept them away from each other. He could have.
But that's kind of a different situation because Crawford fights Spence. All the belts go over that side. Teofimo Lopez, the belts stay with him. They still stay with him.
Ramirez Hooker.
Hooker was not like, bro. I knew Hooker. I knew what the result of that fight was going to be. And so Bob's smart. You know he knows.
Yeah, I mean he had to look at Hooker like, I ain't forget that Darlise Perez fight. You might have looked all right with LePierre, and you might have looked all right with Terry, but I ain't forget that Darlise Perez.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it was it's no risk. And I'm just making assumptions here, but it was less risk of handing off that belt. You feel me? With Teofimo and Loma, the belt stay here.
But see, I still say, this is why I say I still think Bob wants that fight. You ain't got nothing for Terrence Crawford to do. You don't have nothing for this man to do. You can't justify the spending. Remember, your fighter Crawford, unlike some of your other fighters, he has an exclusive contract with ESPN. That puts pressure on you to deliver. to ESPN. They're like, yo, bruh, ESPN promised my fighter over $3 million a fight, and I can't get this fucking guy a fight. I can't get him a fight. So I look stupid. Now Dana White putting up better numbers than me. He putting up better numbers with his cards than I am. I'm looking crazy. So I want to get Crawford to fight because I got to deliver something to ESPN. The Lomachenko numbers ain't going to do but so much, but welterweight, that's one of the glamour weights. That's one of the weights everybody watch. It's all American fighters here. If I can't get my guy a fight, I look like an idiot.
Bob Arum definitely believes in Terence Crawford. That's one thing I do know. Like, he definitely believes in Terence Crawford. So if anything, like, he's probably itching for somebody from PBC to come over to get knocked out. He is probably itching. So if PBC allow those fights to happen, then he'll probably beat all of them. That's what I think anyway.
I think he cleans out that whole stable. If we talking about the here and the now, at the age that he's at, in the condition that he's at, and how he keep himself up, because this dude, he ain't them. This dude trained. He helped Shakur spar. He helped Maurice Hooker spar. The dude is a fitness nut, right? Super competitive guy. The guy that he is today, don't lose to those guys. Not today. Y'all gotta wait for him to get old or some shit. That's the only way it's gonna happen.
Except Spence. Depending on what happens with Garcia.
Bro, I don't even, because I still don't know where the hell Spence is. I don't know where he is. I really don't know. Like, I gotta see him. The teeth shit, I seen his teeth. I don't like them shits. They look like chiclets.
Yeah, well, they look better than missing teeth.
That's true too. That's true too. But he got them Danny Garcia veneers. Like, bro, ain't nobody teeth that white, bro. Nobody teeth is that white.
Him and Clarissa Shields, she went and did it too. Her teeth was mangled. She came back with a smile like mine. I said, what the hell?
Because her teeth was mangled, I understood it. Like, I dig it. Like, if you gonna go out and get them, then get the straight ones and get the because your shits is your shits. Just like Cardi B. Cardi B fixed her teeth. I ain't mad. Like, man, you had snaggle teeth your whole life. You got money now. You can get straight teeth. Why not? You know why not?
Short Dog took about 30 years, but he eventually fixed his.
Yeah, like I ain't mad at it. But
either, dog.
Errol got the Christian Bale teeth. Like the veneers they made for you is too small, bro. Like it's just too small. Like, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna get off. Good talking to y'all. Catch y'all on the next live.
Peace out, fam.
Peace out, bro.